the Philadelphia 76ers. This offseason, they re-signed Korkmaz, Danny Green. They also signed George Niang and signed Andre Drummond. But Ben Simmons has cut off communications with basically everyone on the Sixers, and he is open to joining the Golden State Warriors per Jay Dumas. Are the Sixers going to drop off next season? And if you think they are, by how much?
It's really tough to say because as we saw throughout the trade rumors, they were asking for a lot for Ben Simmons, a lot of really stupid trades, and right now he's not accepting anything. He's open to going to the Warriors. I don't know how much the Warriors would give for Ben Simmons right now, given his motor, given how he just played, but I don't know if Ben is going to suit up and play for Philly, so I'm going to just assume that Ben is not going to suit up for them. He's going to get traded. But they take a drop-off. They definitely take a drop-off. They're not going to be a number 1 seed. They might not be a top 3 seed. Ben, for a regular season, Ben is extremely important for that team. You know, he plays defense at a high level. He's one of their best rebounders. It's hard to game plan for Ben if you play him once every other month or once every other 2-3 weeks. It's very hard because the season is long. You don't put in too much energy. So Ben is extremely important for a team like that in the regular season. And it's going to be all on Joel Embiid. And given the fact that he has injury concerns, he has knee problems, it's going to be hard for a guy that big to carry a team that long. And they didn't get anybody to really help him out. Yeah, Paul. Good looking guy. I was homo.
2021. We're good.
No, we're not good.
You got to get a little baby.
Yeah.
No, the babied.
But, yeah, Drummond.
Oh, yeah, the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said little baby?
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Every good grace, guy.
Drummond, it was a weird signing. If Drummond finally accepts who he is as a man, who he is as a basketball player, he will be fine. But I think he still believes he's that guy. I guess they brought him in to fill in that Dwight role.
Definitely.
If they start, that'd be hilarious. Really must-see TV for, like, humor if those two start at the same time.
Who Embiid and Drummond?
Yeah, really hilarious. Danny Green was good because it obviously brings back that spacing, brings back a guy who just plays hard on defense. You need those type of guys.
He was missed.
Seth Curry's still there. Tobias Harris is still there. So they still have some offense for this regular season. But to be a top 4 seed, I think they need to have Ben throughout the regular season or even get something back. But I think they'd already missed that target by asking for too much. And now Golden State, I ain't going to make no exaggeration, but they saw Kuminga and Moody game 1. They was like, whoa, like,
we got some.
Yeah, we got some. So I don't know. And, having Ben and Draymond in the starting lineup is hell have on earth. I wouldn't do it.
No?
What? No, I wouldn't.
Haven't played the 5?
Oh, my God.
That would be lit.
Dre and Ben? 4-5?
Exactly.
If I'm a team, I'm putting one big down there, and I'm just double teaming Steph or Clay.
Okay.
Don't guard Dre. I swear to God, don't guard Dre.
Yeah, don't guard Dre.
But, Phillies, I think, is still going to be a playoff team because Embiid is still really that good. But, with him being hurt, I don't know. They can easily fall out. They need to figure out something with Ben Simmons, but they're definitely going to drop off from being one of the top 4 seeds in the East.
I think they do drop off too, but I don't think it's anything too drastic. I think that they'll probably be around the 4th seed because they still have talent around Joel Embiid. They still have Tobias Harris, still have Seth Curry. Like you mentioned, Danny Green was a good piece for them as well. Thibault has been unbelievable defensively, one of the best defensive guards in our game right now. Obviously, Ben Simmons. However, this whole lack of communication thing really does come as a huge surprise to me. Do I understand that he felt disrespected? No doubt about it. I would feel disrespected too. Your head coaches, do you see Ben Simmons being your future point guard or the point guard for a championship winning team for the 76ers? And he says, I don't know the answer to that question. I'd feel some type of way too. I mean, I want my coach to feel any kind of confidence in me. Even addressing the media, you can come to the side and tell me you need to play better because he needs to play better. But when you have your head coach bashing you to the media, it's never a great look. The trade offers that they were trying to send out were egregious. You're not going to get 4 first-rounds pick for Ben, especially after the performance he just had in the playoffs. I said it. This is the lowest value Ben Simmons is ever going to have in his career. And if he right now, he's not helping his case. It coming out that he lost communications with the 76ers, it's just more indicative on his character, and that's not what he wants. He wants to build it in a positive direction, and it's just continuously going negative. But you take Ben off this team, who knows what you really get for him, honestly. I don't know. Maybe you go, I don't see a good situation for him and what Philly gets in return that would make them real contenders. But with just Tobias, with just Seth Curry, with just Joel Embiid, Thibault has to stay as well. so you don't lose complete defense. Because I'm assuming because there's talks of Dame going to Philly. With that happening, you have to lose Steibel, you have to lose Ben, you have to lose a few other pieces, probably Korkmaz too. You bring in Dame, and then you have Tobias, you have Seth, you have Embiid. That's a top three. That's a top three team in the East for sure. You lose the defense, but that offense is high powered, one of the best in the league right off rip. But with Ben just not having any kind of communication, that also hurts his trade value too. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I think that the core of Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry is good enough to still be a top 4 seed in the East. And it's not like they made a championship run, really. They lost to the Hawks in choking fashion, so it's not as if they can get any worse than the lowest of the lows of what they experienced. So I think, of course, I don't see a number 1 seed because I think Nets healthy are number 1. I think Bucks are number 2. It's going to be between Miami and Philly, and I lean Miami right now because they just made the most moves right now this offseason to find an actual identity. Philly really doesn't have one.
I hate that pause.
This is alarming.
He's in.
This is alarming because Ben Simmons, before I talk about Ben Simmons, actually, let me talk about Daryl Morey. He might have overplayed his hand with thinking about the value he could have got for Ben because they could have gotten 7 and 14 from the Warriors.
And Wiggins, right?
Yeah, but they wanted more.
And Wiseman.
They were greedy. They wanted the house for Ben when he's not worth more than the first floor. Ben Simmons, what he's doing right now is ridiculous. Cutting off all communication with the Sixers. Ben Simmons said he's cutting off all communication with the Sixers. He's not talking to them at all. And my only question is, who the hell does Ben Simmons think he is for you to cut off communication with Philly because you have not improved since you've gotten to the league? This past season, lowest points per game, lowest rebounds per game, lowest assists per game, second lowest field goal percentage per game, tied lowest blocks per game, second lowest steals per game. This is somebody who people were calling next LeBron James. And he has not improved since he's been in the league.
Yep.
And he has the audacity to not answer back calls, to not communicate with Philly, to not answer back Joel Embiid's calls when Joel Embiid was the one waiting on you to do something in the playoffs. What Ben Simmons is doing is ridiculous. He thinks he's something he's not. He's not a star player. He lost that title after this playoff performance.
You hook me up?
The best thing for Philly to do is to trade Ben Simmons. But I have a fear that Daryl Morey overplayed his hand. And I think now the best trade they can possibly get is the one that Indiana offered with Brogdon in the first-round pick at this point in time. And Simmons also came out and said he doesn't want to go to Toronto because he doesn't want to go to a bad situation. But what he doesn't realize is that he is the bad situation. He is the reason Philly is in this weird place right now because of him, because he hasn't improved. This is on Ben. This is on Ben. I'm sorry you had to hear that, but it's on Ben.
It's all right because it's not like you're saying anything that's not true, truthfully. It's right. This is a horrible look. What I needed him to do this offseason after embarrassing himself in the worst playoff, one of the worst playoff performances we've seen a player have since maybe LeBron's meltdown in 2011. I don't want to say it's as comparable because LeBron's was really bad, but off memory, a collapse as bad as that one, maybe Paul George too. That's another one that comes to mind.
Ben Simmons shot 34% from the free throw line.
Way worse. Like one of the worst I've ever seen for sure. I'm not arguing that. He needed to go into this offseason hungry, motivated to be something more than what he has been given the 76ers. And this is the complete opposite thing of what he needed to do. Now he's just bringing more negative attention to himself. Now he's making himself look worse than people already have this perception of him, where it is already a horrible mindset to have. Every person you talk to, Ben Simmons is trash. Ben Simmons isn't good. Ben Simmons is garbage. Off one postseason performance, you mentioned that he hasn't been a great postseason performer historically, but most memorable, this one right here with Atlanta. I just don't understand how he doesn't try to draw attention away from himself by just going to the gym, working on his game, trying to be a better player than what he had given the 76ers this past season. He has to understand that if he plays at a 6 out of 10, not the 0 out of 10 that he gave you, 2 out of 10, I'll be kinder. He was okay on defense. His assists were all right. But other than that, scoring was horrible. Trae Young still had his moments where he did his thing on Ben Simmons. There was really no stopping Trae Young to his defense. Other than that, he was terrible. If he played a 6 out of 10, series is over in 5, guaranteed. Series is over in 5. Now we're looking at Ben like he's a piece of garbage, unfortunately. Do I think he's a piece of garbage? No. Do I think he's more than the first floor? Yes. But do I think that they might have played their hand a
I'll
little
give
bit?
him the basement.
So
too.
wait, if he's more than the first floor, what is he?
What they should have done, which listen, you take the 7 and the 14, you take Wiggins,
I agree.
you take Wiseman,
And you
and
run
you
with
don't
it.
look back. That deal was perfect. You asked for 4 first-round picks. Now you're getting
I mean,
egregious.
they think what you think.
I mean, listen, I've been a supporter of Ben's. I'm not going to turn my back on him now, but this isn't a good look. I can be honest with it. It's a horrible
You're a
look.
supporter of Ben. Let me ask you what you think about this.
Let's hear it. You're going to give me numbers?
He shot 34% from the free throw line in the playoffs.
Numbers don't say it all. It's like, obviously, it's horrible, dude. It's terrible.
I just want to ask you this question.
Okay.
Well, I want to get your reaction to this statement.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Simmons shooting 34% from the free throw line in the playoffs
Mm-hmm.
is worse than what players shoot on average from the 3-point line.
Yeah. It's terrible. He's not a 3-point shooter either, so he really can't do anything for you in that side of it.
How do you feel about that, Riv?
He sucks. I didn't even hear what you
Honestly,
said.
you could have just left it at that. That would have been good enough. But I don't.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think?
I don't think
can
he
they get
sucks.
for him right now?
Malcolm Brogdon in a first-round pick.
Also, now it's like that's up for grabs.
I think because he's cut off communication with the Sixers,
That's what's killing him.
his trade value has gone down because now teams know he wants out.
So you think
He
the
doesn't wanna be
Warriors
back.
would trade him for him right now?
Definitely.
Because
I
now
don't
they
think
have
the
the
War-
ballpark.
I don't think the Warriors will do it. You want to know why? Because I think they saw Kuminga and Moody in their summer league game.
just said
But I don't
that's
think
crazy.
Kuminga. I think Wiggins and Wiseman would go. something
Wiseman,
like
they don't
that.
need to give Wiseman now. They have all the leverage.
do.
Just get Wiggins.
He fumbled the bag for Philly.
No, he has the
bad.
bag.
No, for
He
Philly.
had-
I'm saying
Morey fumbled it,
that too.
and he's
'Cause he could
prone.
have had Harden last season.
Daryl Morey under pressure is prone to make bad decisions. I mean, in Houston, he traded for Russell Westbrook because he was under pressure to get rid of Chris Paul. Then when they got Westbrook, they were under pressure to trade Clint Capella for Robert Covington, and that was a downgrade. When Daryl Morey's under pressure, he makes bad moves. And right now, he's under a lot of pressure, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ben Simmons traded for somebody that we say not worth it.
Would you be surprised if at this point they trade Joel Embiid?
I would be extremely surprised.
I feel as if you're not getting what you want in return for Ben Simmons. At that point, can you really compete? I think that they could not for a title, obviously, because that's obviously
That's the goal.
The goal.
Embiid
There's
is on the
nothing
team.
else other than winning a championship. If you're this team, can you win a championship
With Ben Simmons, no.
with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry,
No.
Thibault, Korkmaz?
Kenny
You,
Green.
if
Drummond.
you plug out Ben, you put Damon, yes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That's no doubt about that. You could win a championship, sure.
What about Malik Beasley?
Oh, my God. Nah.
He's a dog, though.
Yeah, but not a championship. I think you get Dame, you perfectly put yourself right at the top with the Nets.
What about
and Milwaukee.
Brogdon?
What about De'Aaron Fox?
No.
Really?
Not a championship. No.
Okay. Okay.
That
You
was
can't
wrong with you.
compete for a championship.
What about Sharif Cooper?
I would love that. Start him, let him be the one. Nah, I think Dame is the only guy right now.
That makes
On the
them
market,
a
yeah.
championship team. Okay.
If it's just the matchup with the Nets,
Uh-huh.
you get a
I don't mind.
you get a
De'Aaron Fox?
You get a Dame and Embiid. Dame's gonna match Kyrie. You get a Dame and Embiid.
Def.
They ain't got nothing. The Nets don't got nothing to stop Embiid.
The Harden
Yeah,
just
but
makes
it's
the
like,
chase.
you got Dame, you got Embiid now, so you could work. I think that's fine.
For sure.
Tobias is still there. Seth,
Yeah,
you got some shooters. Matisse could play D. I think that's fine.
definitely.
But they have nothing right now.
It would take the world to get Dame with what Ben just did to them.